Who are the people of the Most High? Israelites.
Shalom. I'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders throughout the four corners, throughout GMS, throughout the four corners. And what I'm going to talk about is one of the reoccurring topic that occurs pretty much anytime we encounter you simple-ass Christians, no matter what form or fashion that you come in, you simple-ass Christians. And the number one thing, or the number one problem we always run into with you is the fact of the Gentile issue. You can't understand the Gentile issue. There's something really wrong with you. Because for us, it's easy to understand. See, because you people have been taught replacement theology. The Bible doesn't deal with replacement theology. The Israelites were the chosen people from Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Ezra, all the way on down to the book of Revelation. The Israelites are the chosen people. Now, what happened is, during the time of the Greek occupation, Israelites became Hellenized. Just like now. Right now, me speaking, I'm Americanized. I was born in America. I'm an Israelite that's Americanized, that was born in America. Back then, you had Israelites that were Hellenized, which were living among the different Greek city-states and following the customs of those people in the Greek city-states. And that's what the scriptures were speaking about when it said about that there's no difference in Galatians, the 3rd chapter, when there's no difference between Jew nor Greek. Because the Greek that it was speaking about were Hellenized Israelites that were speaking Greek and following Greek traditions. Now, pretty much most, and anyone will acknowledge that the first Gentile convert would be Cornelius when you read the book of Acts, the 10th chapter. So I'm going to go there and briefly read a little bit of Acts 10:1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. So right away, the Caesarea, or Caesarea, however you want to pronounce it, you say tomato, I say tomato, is located on the eastern bank of the Mediterranean Sea, along Ashdod, Caesarea. Those two cities are seaport cities on the eastern bank of the Mediterranean Sea. That's where they're located. Now, it said, there was a man of Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band of the Italian band. Right away, you see it says of the Italian band, and right off the top of your head, a lot of you stupid Negroes is going to equate, oh, she is talking about a white man. A lot of you stupid white people think that it's automatically talking about a white person. That shows the stupidity of you people. Then I'm going to read a little bit more. It says he was a devout man. First of all, there's nothing devout about you so-called white people. You're the devil that the Bible speaks of. You're totally against anything that is righteous and that is holy that's written in the book of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. If not, why do you promote homosexuality all throughout your society? Why do you promote transgenderism all throughout your society? Why are you sitting there trying to indoctrinate children that, look, don't say you're a boy, don't say you're a girl, just say you're non-binary? Because you're a wicked people. You're a wicked, foul, nasty society. And your foreparents or predecessors, the Romans, which came after the Greeks, were a bunch of goddamn freaks to damn selves. Read the history of the Romans and the Roman Empire. They were a bunch of homosexual, bisexual freaks. Just like the Greeks. It was basically a continuation of the Greek Empire, just with a Latin twist. That's all it was. But now, the scriptures say that Cornelius was a devout man and one that feared Yahweh and all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to Yahweh always. So wait a minute. How is Cornelius being, if he's supposed to be a damn Edomite, how did he know to give alms, number one? And how did he know to pray to the Most High always? See, the reason being is, what's unbeknownst to a lot of you people out there, you don't know a goddamn thing about the history of the Bible and the history of our people and the things that happened to us back in the history, pre the Roman Empire, during the time of the Roman Empire, after the time of the Roman Empire. You haven't the slightest goddamn clue of what's going on. Now, the reason why I'm reading about Cornelius there, and it said he was a devout man, because when you go into the history, which is, you go into the Josephus, which Flavius Josephus was a general during the Roman-Jewish War, and basically he had switched sides. And then Vespasian had, basically he was recruited by him, and he chronicled everything that went down. Titus and Vespasian, he actually chronicled everything that went down pretty much during the Roman-Jewish wars. And Josephus was privy to history that our people had prior to that those happenings. Because when the Romans came in and they burnt the state of Israel in 70 AD, they destroyed all of our records. We had records back then. They burnt those records into the ground. So Josephus is the only one who he had eyes on those records. He recorded in his history that happened before the time of the Roman Jewish wars. He recorded in history what happened during the Greek occupation to us. And he also talked about what happened when the Persians had us in captivity. He talked about what happened to the kingdom of Israel when the Assyrians came in and dragged them out of Samaria and took them into Assyria. He recorded all of that. All right? He was privy to all of that history that our people had there in Jerusalem before the Romans burnt all of our records. But now in the book of Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, which is what I want to focus on, Antiquity of the Jews, book 18, Antiquity of the Jews, book 18, chapter 5. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter because it's a long chapter. I'm going to start at about the middle of paragraph 5. Antiquity of the Jews, book 18. Chapter 3, paragraph 5. That's where I'm at, and I'm going to go to the middle of it. It says, these men persuaded Fulvia, a woman of great dignity, and one that had embraced the Jewish religion, to send purple and gold to the temple at Jerusalem, and when they had gotten them, they employed them for their own uses, and spent the money themselves, on which account it was that they at first required it of her. Whereupon, this is the reason why I'm reading this, whereupon Tiberius, this is talking about Tiberius Caesar. Tiberius Caesar was the Caesar at the time of the crucifixion of Yahushua. Tiberius was the Caesar, and the military governor of Judea was Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate answered to Tiberius Caesar. So Tiberius was the Caesar during the crucifixion of Yahushua. Now, I'm reading this because it's going to say, whereupon Tiberius is talking about Tiberius Caesar, who had been informed of the thing by Saturnius, the husband of Fulvia, who desired inquiry might be made about it, ordered all the Jews to be banished out of Rome. So Tiberius Caesar, now when this happened, when you look it up in history, this happened in 19 AD. 19 AD was during the reign of Tiberius Caesar. Tiberius in 19 AD had banished all the Jews from Rome in 19 AD. Now, why am I reading on that, and why am I connecting that with Cornelius? Now you're going to see, because I'm going to read on in the history. For Tiberius, who desired inquiry might be made about it, ordered all Jews to be banished out of Rome. See, we read in Acts the 18th chapter when Emperor Claudius commanded all Jews to depart from Rome. That was the third time Jews was kicked out of Rome when you read Acts 18 under Claudius. The second time was in 19 AD under Tiberius. And there was another time before Tiberius that Jews were expelled from Rome. There were 3 expulsions from Rome. This is the second one in 19 AD. And it says Jews to be banished out of Rome, and which time the consuls listed 4,000 men out of them and sent them to the island of Sardinia. So out of the Jews that were banished out of Rome, 4,000 of them, they pulled to the side and they sent those 4,000 Jews to the island of Sardinia, but punished a greater number of them who were unwilling to become soldiers on account of keeping the laws of their forefathers. So the other Jews that didn't want to go to Sardinia and become soldiers in the Roman army were punished and killed because they wanted to still keep the traditions of our forefathers and keep the laws. So they were punished. It says, thus were these Jews banished out of the city by the wickedness of 4 men. Now, Cornelius was a man in Caesarea of the Italian band. So that's showing you right there. Cornelius was one of those Israelites under Tiberius that was sent to where? Sardinia, to train to become a soldier in the Roman army. Now here, 2025 in America, do not you have Negroes, West Indians, Puerto Ricans, Haitians, Dominicans, Panamanians, Cubans, Mexicans, Brazilians, Argentinians, Chileans, Uruguayans, Colombians that are here and became American citizens and that joined the military and work in the military? Now, when these soldiers were sent to the island of Sardinia, one thing you got to know about Sardinia, and the brother will probably put it in post-production, Sardinia, there was a flag of Sardinia known as Amore Quattro, which means the 4 Moors, the 4 Morenos. Moreno meaning dark skin, black man. Now, when you look at the flag of Sardinia, which I'm going to pull this up right here, the picture of the flag of Sardinia is a picture of a Negro with a bandana, which is known as Amore Quattro. This is the flag of Sardinia. Now, they whitewashed the flag. When you look at pictures of the flag of Sardinia now, they have a person who's the same complexion like that, but has the features of a white boy. It looks like a white boy in blackface with a bandana on. But originally, it was a Negro with a bandana on his head. This is known as Amore Quattro, which is the flag of Sardinia.